A lot of people out there saying using photographic reference is cheating. Do you use a lot of photographic reference for your work?
Yeah, if I want something to look particular, like here's an example, for instance. I had a photo taken of myself, sort of like in the same shot. It just gives me like a little undercurrent of realism, and then you can sort of abstract it from that.
So, how would you respond? Somebody recently on the internet said that any high school student can be as good as, say, Alex Ross or David Mack if they've got a photograph to work from. What's your response to that?
Good luck.
So,
go for it. That's my response.
If you look at the backgrounds, particularly in The Simpsons, they're very what we call observational. So the detail in, like if you look at the Quickie Mart, for example, that's one everybody knows. Look at the detail of the food on the shelves and the squishy machine and the stuff in the freezers. The artists who designed those backgrounds had to go into like a 7-Eleven and photograph the whole store from every angle to get that kind of detail. So it's very important, and it's not cheating. It's just a way to look at the world around us and replicate that in the backgrounds that we do.
So cheating, for Zeta, everyone, and half the guys I know who claim they don't use reference, use reference. I'm always amazed when guys are like, no, I don't use, And I'm like, I know for a fact they all do. And they bullshit and say they don't, and I'm always like, come on, guys.
The first thing I do if I have to do a celebrity caricature is I go Google them, Google image, and I get as many good shots of them as I possibly can get, and then just start trying to work up a good caricature. It's very important.
I use photographs in and of themselves too. I like photographs as an art form. So this is all photograph from collage. Here's a series. Here's a story that I use quite a bit of photograph as part of the storytelling and collage into it. But I enjoy working in a variety of mediums. I don't really have one specific way that I think is the only way to do it. I enjoy just taking conceptual approach to the story and just thinking like, what's the nature or underlying theme of that story, and what's the best visual way to get that across.
If I'm having a hard time getting a certain lighting effect, or trying to figure out how light really works on some of these characters, I don't usually photograph it, but I'll often hold one of the figures up to like my drawing board light, and just kind of see where the shadows fall.
Because trying to predict where shadows fall exactly is next to impossible versus a photo. And also folds in material. Alex has always been a real stickler for how material looks, and he just always had this idea in his head, I think, from the very beginning of he wanted to see how these people would appear in real life.
Realistic detail is just so precise that it has to be from a photograph. That's usually the case. It's usually not just something they're able to come up with out of their heads. Usually the ones that draw from their heads, they get pretty good detail, but it's never quite as accurate as what you see from photographic reference.